Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 of a best of 3 between YueJin and Gal, and this is the semi-final of the Great Paradox Tourney. So in the previous game we saw Gal defeat YueJin with his 12th SS Panzer, YueJin trying to hold on with the 1st Panzerner, and it was certainly an intense game. There was combat going on all over the map for the entirety of the length it lasted. But eventually YueJin decided to throw in the towel and move on to the next game after his 1st Panzerner was shattered in phase A, which isn't exactly what you want to see as the 1st Panzerner. You want to have an advantage in phase A and B and then hold on for dear life in phase C. But the 12th SS there with Gal managing to make it work, had some Pak-38s in some perfect positions, and really put the hurt onto YueJin. So congratulations to Gal for picking up the first game in the best of 3. But now we have here the second game, where it's all to play for. Gal, if he wins this game, will be moving on to the final. If YueJin wins this game, he is going to have to win another one afterwards as well in order to move on to the final himself. But if he loses, then he's going to drop down to the 3rd place final, and that's not where he wants to be. So both players coming into this hopefully with a fresh mind, and today we are seeing Odon, YueJin with his 4th Armoured, and Gal with the 21st Panzer. So both very interesting divisions. I believe they both match up pretty well. Gal does have the S-307 pack Panzerhaubitze sort of start if he wants it. However, it looks like he's focusing more on the half-track and 20mm combo. You see the SBW222 coming in on this bottom side, and there's also plenty of half-tracks with Panzergrens hanging about. Also got Speed Troop in the 251s and some Command Infantry there, and there's a Pak-43 coming out of Gal. So yeah, interesting stuff for sure. Pak-43 could do a lot of damage to YueJin's forces, especially things like Hellcats. It can pop them very, very nicely. Whereas on the side of YueJin, it looks like YueJin's going to be relying on the Hellcat here. He has the WC-52 leading the way with the cavalry scouts. We've got 3 units of rifles in there, M3A1 half-track as well, with some more infantry, and then there's a command infantry to follow up. On the bottom side, it's going to be rifles, cavalry scouts, command infantry, and an M8 cavalry. So we'll have to see where both players try and push their forces, because it seems like Gal isn't trying to contest this bigger town. He's just going to try and sit in the smaller area beyond it. That is a sensible choice, since the blue side does get an overwhelming advantage in the town due to how the road works in the centre. So yeah, Gal is going to be focusing elsewhere. It looks like the Pak-43 on the top side is going to be his main focus. He's then going to be supporting that with infantry into this forest area and trying to hold on and push through on the top side. So let's get this sped up, get the game underway. I'm really, really excited to see what sort of play comes out in this one. And off we go. Let's have a look at where these units are going. So some very complicated orders going on here. You can see the unload at position and then shift attack move commands from Gal. So basically what he's doing is unloading at position the infantry, and then the attack move is for the half tracks. So that's what we're seeing there. So half track with a T-gun heading to the top side. We've got the Panzergren there and command moving in. All of these units, I believe, are just spreading around this forest area, trying to maybe get into these buildings and push a +1 on the top side. Speed Troop have been unloaded. Let's see what each player can see so far. So the Pak-38 has been unloaded early. That's going to be engaging YueJin's M8 cavalry in the town, and could definitely find the kill, and most certainly does. That's a good start for Gal already. On the side of YueJin, he has spotted the Pak-43 here, and that is very important, especially with this Hellcat hanging around on the top side. YueJin won't be driving into that Pak-43 anytime soon. Well, I say that, the M18 Hellcat is now creeping forwards, and I'm a bit worried that YueJin's going to find himself engaged by that Pak 43 unnecessarily. So the Pak 43 currently is on return fire. That's so it doesn't engage the cavalry scouts that he can see here. And that's pretty important for if YueJin didn't have recon, but considering YueJin does have recon, this Pak 43 has already been spotted. M8 cavalry on the bottom side is going to find a kill onto the 259. That's pretty important. And if he can find a kill onto the 222 as well, then that's going to put Gallo in a pretty sticky situation on this bottom side. The rifles will be able to continue moving through, cavalry scouts will be continuing to provide information. And it seems like the rifles in the town here have managed to pin down some Panzergrens in the open. We see the B-26B Marauder coming down and strafing the Pak 43. So Gallo likely doesn't have a response to this, in that he can probably bring in maybe some 20mm AA, but it's going to take a little while to actually force back a B-26B. The other choice is maybe a fighter, but that's only an ME-109 G0 for the 21st Panzer, so that won't really do the job either. Will likely get forced to fall back itself by the rear gunner before actually doing any damage to the Marauder itself. Marauder doing loads of damage to this Pak 43. Really nice choice of unit there for YueJin. Currently the WC-52 here is being forced to fall back by the Panzer Grenadiers MGs. Speed troop on this top side are going to be killed off, so that gets rid of some of Gallo recon information. Now it seems as though the 222 did go down here and the rifles have found the Aufklärer. However, this M8 cavalry did get its tracks or wheels destroyed before it killed the 222. So the M8 cavalry currently disabled and not able to push the advantage that YueJin has found on the bottom side. So ME-109 G0 brought in to engage the B-26B Marauder. I'm pretty sure the B-26B Marauder will continue to fire at that ME-109 and force it to fall back before the ME-109 G0 manages to make the B-26B fall back. You can see that's exactly what's happening so far, and that's what will continue to happen. The B-26B has managed to kill off the Pak 43, and that's pretty important. I'm pretty sure maybe the M18 Hellcat moved forwards and engaged that AT gun as well in order to kill it off sooner than later. ME-109 G0 just not doing the job there, forced to fall back. B-26B able to just stick in the sky and do what it likes. Cavalry scouts have found the Zug shot onto the U-304, which is pretty important as that U-304 was causing a huge salient on the bottom side. Panzer IV-C has arrived to deal with the WC-52. It might find itself in line of sight of the M8 cavalry, and then that's going to be an interesting engagement indeed. We have 7 AP versus 4 armor and 6 AP versus 3 armor on the other side of things. Gonna have to keep an eye on that, but meanwhile on the top side, ground is being made for YueJin. M18 Hellcat has used up all of its HE shells in the process, but the cavalry scouts here in the armoured leader have made a relatively large amount of ground. GMC going to be moving up with some more supply to resupply that Hellcat and its HE ammunition. I'm surprised to not see that coming on the bottom side and maybe try and fix up the M8 cavalry, but getting the GMC to drive across this terrain is probably going to take a relatively long time. But look at this, YueJin really doing a lot of work with the B-26B Marauder, now harassing the Pak 38 over here. B-26B has been given an oil leak. ME-109 G0, can it find the kill? He's had a lot of time on target, but the 50 cals might just save the day. Pretty sure it's time for YueJin to get that B-26B out of here. Crazy stuff. Look how beat up that is. Still alive. 2 ME-109s not able to do the job. Well, it was probably the same ME-109. But something quite significant just happened on the bottom side here, as the Panzer IV does go down to the M8 cavalry. Rifles are engaging the speed troop at the moment. 251 might try and go for the surrender, but won't find it because of this armoured leader. Is that a new B-26B Marauder coming in? I think it is. We see a second B-26B being purchased by YueJin, just being an absolute terror in the sky with that aircraft. The first one just did so much work, and I'm sure Gallo Neal is like tearing his eyes out at the moment at the sight of the second B-26B Marauder coming in, which he has absolutely nothing to counter it with. Like I mentioned before, the only choices that Gallo Neal has are the U304 Flaks here with the 20 mils and the ME109 G0s. He's decided to purchase 2 of them, and it looks like it may pay off this time around. The U304 Flak there and the 20 mil is going to be able to open up onto the B-26B Marauder. 2 ME109 G0 should be more than enough. And there goes the first B-26B. Gallo Neal does the job finally, but he's taken a lot of damage on his AT guns. This Pack 38 only on 1 health. He lost the Pack 43 and the Pack 38 on the top side to them. Not in a very nice position. CGMC brought in by YueJin to force the ME109 G0s back, and enemy air presence that would have initially harassed his B-26B, but B-26B is dead now. I believe YueJin still has the other one that was damaged, so we might see that come out later on. But Hellcat's still really making a lot of work here. He's reloaded his HE shells, he's able to take out the speed troop and other AT guns from range, and Gallo Neal only has the Pack 38s now for the rest of Phase A. And those are going to continuously be killed by this Hellcat. We've still got 1 minute and 45 seconds until Phase B, and things are not looking very good for YueJin or for Gallo Neal at this moment in time. So armoured LMG rifles here in the tower are going to get hit pretty hard by the half tracks, but with the Hellcat rolling through, it's probably going to find a couple of kills onto these half tracks. YueJin moving up with more rifles here. Needs to keep the armoured leader in range of these rifles, otherwise when those Panzergrens open up he's going to get pinned down. Obviously he doesn't know that those Panzergrens are there, but you always want to keep your armoured leader or your leader units in range of your own units so that they don't end up getting pinned down and surrendered nice and easy. So while this Hellcat's dealing with these half tracks, it looks like Gallo Neal's taking the opportunity to get this U304 and Pack 38 as close as he can to this Hellcat. There's also a Panzer IV C on the way, which does have the penetration value to kill a Hellcat, but wouldn't be my first choice. Pack 38 going to be trying to engage the CGMC. CGMC might actually even pin down the Pack 38, however, and he will. That is just devastating for Gallo Neal. The Hellcat's now going to just be able to open up. They're pretty much ignoring the Panzer IV C at the moment. Just want to make sure that Pack 38 is dead, and then the Hellcat can continue to engage the Panzer IV C from range. Looks like YueJin changed that targeting, allowed the CGMC to continue on to the Pack 38. I'm surprised that's still alive. Taking an absolute ton of punishment. And it looks like Gallo Neal might be just about getting away with it. Pack 38 there, forced to fall back, but yeah, 1 health left. And 2 ME109 G0s coming in to strafe the Hellcat, but into an AA piece like the CGMC, not really working out too well. Abrams has arrived with his M4, bails out the U304 Flak that Gallo Neal purchased to help out with the B-26B. CGM, or the GMC from the top side, has now come down, all the way down, slowly driving its way towards the M8 cavalry, and once that's fixed up we'll likely be able to deal with these half tracks and the 259 down here. So the Panzer IV C surviving, cavalry scouts now moving into this tree line to engage the speed troop and the Pack 38. They do kill off the Pack 38, and that is very important because there is going to be no threat now to this M18 Hellcat, and that M18 Hellcat also has the recon information from the cavalry scouts to let him know that there is no more AT guns. However, we are into Phase B now. Pack 43 has been purchased by Gallo Neal. Panzer IV C on its way, 259 as well. That's going to be Gallo-Neal's attempt at a response to this Hellcat. But in the middle, he has bigger problems. The M4 Abrams here supporting a push with the rifles onto the enemy Panzer Grenadiers. He's making loads of ground, +2 now for YueJin. And this lead is only getting bigger. M8 Cavalry still sitting in the same spot with its wheels now fixed up. But the cavalry scouts, they're going to be finding the Zuka shot onto the 259. And the Panzergrens have died in these buildings. So that's going to be able to be secured by YueJin. He's actually got rifles already on the way to do so. More CGMCs coming in to cover his tanks. And the only real threat to YueJin at this point is this Pak 43. The two Panzer IV Cs here can be engaged from out of range since they only have a 1,000 meter range themselves. Looks like half-track did find some ground on the bottom side, almost preventing the +2 for a little, for a short amount of time. But that M8 Cavalry there, surely eventually going to find the kill onto the 259. Both of these Hellcats driving towards it though. Honestly, revealing this 259 to allow the 250, or this 251 to allow the 259 to get out of there, it was actually a pretty good idea because units automatically target units that aren't pinned down. So I think Gallo-Neal there brought the 251 into sight just so that he could save the 259, but the 259 is still in range. I think it's just got out of line of sight now though. B-26B Marauder going to be coming in. That's going to be hitting the Pak 43 and pinning it down. One of the Panzer IV Cs has died on this top side as well. You can see it there by the tracks burning. Me-109G0 brought in to reply against the B-26B, but with the support of the CGMC, there is nothing an Me-109 can do to kill that B-26. And now we've found a 66% territory lead for YueJin. Absolutely dominating performance this game. Finds a U-304 there that's pinned down and takes that out with a surrender. This is crazy stuff, especially considering how well Gallo-Neal did in the first game. It seems in this one the 21st Panzer was not the best division to reply against the 4th Armoured. I said that these divisions would be relatively even, but I think I completely forgot about this B-26B, which has been doing so much work against the AT guns of Gallo-Neal, and without it I don't think YueJin would have made half as much progress. So the Panzer IV C here even being pinned down by the CGMC. Oh my, that could possibly lead to a surrender. That Panzer IV C needs to be targeted by the CGMC. He's going to find the pin. Is that the surrender? He is in range, I believe, with the 251 nearby. I don't think that's going to happen. 251 comes in to take the flak. That is going to surrender. Panzer IV C not surrendered so far. B-26B pinning down the Pak 43 still. It could allow the Hellcat to engage that. However, the Hellcat has currently run out of HE ammunition. Crazy stuff. Half-track is found on the bottom side. 72% territory lead here for YueJin. M4 Abrams going to be pinning down the Pak 43 on the road before it's even unloaded. And it's time for Gallo-Neal to surrender, as YueJin wins the game after 15 minutes and 9 seconds. 1,250 kills to 310 losses. Absolutely dominating performance in Game 2 from YueJin to bring it back to 1-1 in the series. Very, very nice play indeed. Nothing Gallo-Neal could do about the B-26B early on. Had to save up so many points to take it out. And that was just absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the kill counts. The M8 Cavalry there on the bottom side, surviving with the wheel damage. Then killing off multiple half-tracks. The Panzer IV C, the 222. Killing off that Panzer IV C on that bottom side was really important. This Hellcat getting so many kills, even scored a kill onto an Me-109G0 with its 50 cal. That is how awesome that Hellcat was today. Fantastic job. Fantastic micro from YueJin, keeping that alive and also resupplying it as well with extra HE so that he could continue with the 1,200 meter range engagement onto enemy AT guns. That is very, very important to note, and well played by YueJin to do that. So that must have been due to the anti-air or something doing a lot of damage to the ME-109G0, and then obviously the 50 cal picking up the kill. But yeah, crazy stuff. You can see the PaK-43 was killed by the Hellcat instead of the B-26B at the start. Then we saw Abrams come in, do some more damage here, support the push of the rifles through the centre of the map, and an M18 also found a kill onto a Panzer IV-G before the end of the game. Crazy stuff. So the B-26B wasn't actually credited for any kills, but did allow the Hellcat to kill off both the PaK-38 and the PaK-43 here, and we saw other PaK-38s go down due to the health damage that was inflicted by that B-26B. Absolutely crazy. So the two ME-109G0s and the U-304 flak were invested to kill the B-26B, and just didn't pay off in the long run because we saw YueJin invest in the anti-air relatively early on, because he knew that the only thing that Gallo-Neal would have to counter the B-26B was the ME-109G0. So I think it honestly just from the start, YueJin knew what he was doing and managed to win out in this game. Very, very nice game. Gallo-Neal, commiserations, lost the second game, but still has a chance to move on to the final. Both players now only needing one more victory to move on. But that's all for now, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.